Hey there guys, it's Tina and I'm back. And I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. If you're also back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. But if you're new and maybe you like what you see, please consider subscribing because we have tons of fun here on this channel talking about makeup and all things beauty. And of course, every now and then we mix in a review or two. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and join the fancy fam. So in today's video, we are getting back to the basics and we are doing a review, wear test, and demo featuring a brand new foundation on the market. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Bear With Me Blurring Skin Tint. I don't know why they say blur twice, but it's their blurring skin tint. This just launched and I was so intrigued. I wanted to try it out. Even though I don't normally gravitate to the drugstore for complexion products, this one intrigued me because it promises to be long wearing, but also lightweight with oil control built in. So I was very intrigued and I wanted to test it out. I also picked up the Bear With Me Concealer Serum. This was on the same display with the foundation. So I figured let me go ahead and grab both and I'll be testing this out in the video as well. But the primary focus on the video is to try out this new foundation from NYX. It's from the drugstore. Let's test it out and see if it does live up to all the claims that are stated on the website, and see if this is a winner in the drugstore. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I will go over all the product details. I'll show you the packaging up close and personal. Of course, we're gonna do a demo and there's also a wear test. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so we're starting off with a clean, freshly washed face. I did fill in my brows and I applied a bit of eyeshadow primer and base to my lids because my lids are very oily and we need them to not crease and get greasy throughout the day. So that's what I did, but otherwise I have nothing on my skin, and I will show you what my skin looks like before we apply the foundation. But first I want to show you the packaging up close and personal and also talk you through the details of this product. So this again is the NYX Cosmetics Bear With Me Blur Skin Tint Foundation. This retails for $14. It's available in 24 shades and it contains the usual 1 fluid ounce of product or 30 milliliters. We see that pretty much across the board when it comes to liquid foundations. It is available on the NYX Cosmetics website as well as other retailers. I picked mine up at Ulta and it says it is vegan and cruelty free. It has an intended usage life of 12 months and it is made in Colombia. And I'll read the product information from the NYX Cosmetics website as well as from Ulta. So it says here, meet Bear With Me Blur Tint Foundation, a medium buildable coverage tint foundation that blurs it all, from pores to dark spots and imperfections. Available in 24 shades to complement a range of skin tones, this breathable tint foundation applies easily and leaves the skin with a smooth, healthy looking and visibly brighter appearance. The blurring, non-greasy formula helps control shine all day without looking cakey, ashy, or chalky. Plus, the lightweight foundation delivers up to 16 hours of comfortable transfer and fade resistant wear and up to 12 hours of hydration. Formulated with skin loving ingredients such as glycerin, matcha, and niacinamide, this lightweight slip texture foundation will leave your skin looking blurred and healthy. And it says it is suitable for all skin types, oily, dry, and combination skin. Now that is a lot of information to digest, so I am going to summarize the key benefits and highlights from this formulation, and those are what we're going to use to judge this foundation. So first up, it says it's a medium buildable coverage foundation. So we're looking for medium coverage. It also says it is a matte blurred finish. That means to me that it's gonna be more on the natural matte side, and I'm looking for it to also blur my skin. It says it is a lightweight formula, so we're not going to feel this heavyweight coverage on our skin. It helps to minimize and blur the appearance of pores and fine lines, dark spots, and blemishes. So we're looking for that blurring as well. It also says that it offers 16 hours of comfortable wear. Now, I'm not gonna test 16 hours of wear, absolutely not. We'll be able to tell how this foundation wears after about 6 hours or so. So we're gonna test that. It also says it offers 12 hours of hydration. Now, I don't know why they split it up 16 hours of wear versus 12 hours of hydration. Does it start drying out your skin after that? I don't know, but we're looking for this foundation to be hydrating and non-drying. And then it also says it is fade and transfer resistant. Another thing that we're going to test out for. And then the last thing that is one that really pulled me in is that it helps control shine without an ashy or cakey finish. That for me is glorious because I have oily skin, so I'm looking for this foundation to help control my shine throughout the day. All right, so let's go ahead and show you the packaging up close and personal. It's really simple, basic packaging. The foundation is housed in this see-through plastic squeeze tube packaging with a tinted pink flip top cap to dispense the product. The NYX Cosmetics logo and the name of the foundation is on the front. I love that they have blur in pink. On the back, you have ingredient details, manufacturing information. You also have a QR code that you can scan for additional details about the product. And the sizing is also on the front. So let's go ahead and see what is in store for this foundation. Now, the shade I personally picked out for myself is number 16 Warm Caramel. And this, even though it says warm caramel, has a neutral undertone based on the NYX Cosmetics website. So just be mindful of that. And since I'm shade number 16, that means there are 8 more shades after my shade that are for deeper, richer skin tones with varying undertones. So I like to see the diversity in their shade range. And I think NYX overall has always done a good job of providing a pretty good shade range. Even though they're like a limited number of shades, it's only 24, I still think they did a good job of distributing the shades along the skin tone spectrum. So shade number 16 is my shade, and like I said, it's supposed to have a neutral undertone even though it says warm. And I would say it definitely is a mix of cool and warm undertones. And I am hopeful that this is a good skin match. Now, before we go in and apply this foundation, let me show you what my skin looks like without any product on it. Again, I have oily skin. It's kind of oily combination, but I only have normal areas of my skin, specifically under my eyes. Everywhere else, I get pretty oily. And I do have enlarged pores around my T-zone. So my nose, my cheek area, my forehead, I have lines and pores. It's a situation. I'm also 40, so I am not a young teeny bopper with flawless skin. There is hyperpigmentation around my mouth area, also from old breakouts. And I do have some discoloration or unevenness to my skin where my skin is not completely one shade all around. So now that you've seen my skin, let's go ahead and apply this foundation. And I'll zoom in just a bit so you can see this directly applied. And I will be using my Smashbox Full Coverage Foundation brush. I absolutely love this brush. It's synthetic, so it works well with liquid and cream products. And they do say on the NYX and Ulta website that a little goes a long way. So I'm picking up very little, even though I squeezed out quite a bit. And I am just going, ooh, that is probably too much. So I'm just gonna dab it all over my face to begin with. And let's blend it out on this side. Upon initial application, it looked a little peachy, a little orange. So that's a bit concerning because it's supposed to be a neutral undertone. But as I'm blending it out, it is blending into my skin so effortlessly. That is fantastic. And I do see some blurring happening. Ooh, that's nice. So here's my regular skin, bare skin, and here's with the foundation on one side. And I'll show you the before and after once we're done applying this foundation. It's definitely covering up some of my imperfections. I would say it is a medium coverage foundation. They also say it's buildable, so I'll layer up a little bit. I didn't apply as much on this side, so you can definitely apply it in a lighter layer to get a more light medium coverage. And this would be suitable for every day. If you're just running out and you just want something to even out your skin, I like that because it does say it's a tint foundation. So I'm expecting it to be something that you can wear every day if you just want some lightweight coverage. And yeah, I think that is definitely a good shade match on me. That is actually almost spot on exact. So let me go ahead and build up some more of this foundation. We'll build it up on this side first, since that's the side with less product on it. And it is building up pretty easily. And it blends so effortlessly. It's like gliding over the skin, and it does feel lightweight. Even though it's a liquid foundation, it is more on the whipped or moussey side. So it's not a very runny or liquidy foundation at all. It has almost like a whipped cream texture. It feels very lightweight. So far, I don't feel it on my skin. Even though I'm building and layering coverage, I am not feeling this foundation on my skin at all. It's not feeling heavy or cakey. It's not tight. It doesn't feel greasy. It actually feels pretty nice. That is impressive considering how much I have applied. I've almost applied the entire dollop that I squeezed out, and I squeezed out about 3 or 4 drops. So a little does go a decent way, but I wouldn't say a little goes a long way, especially if you're using a brush like I am, because the brush will absorb some of the product. So just be mindful of that. I do think it is a medium coverage though. I won't be building up anymore because if I keep layering, it's just gonna be too much product. So I will go in with their concealer that I also picked up, but it gives a solid medium coverage. And now I'll go ahead and insert the before and after so you can see what I mean. It has covered up some of my hyperpigmentation. It has evened out my skin for sure. It has a beautiful blurred natural matte finish. It doesn't look dewy at all, even though it says it's a hydrating foundation. It feels very comfortable and lightweight, and my pores aren't accentuated, which I appreciate. All right, now that we've applied the foundation, let's go in with the Bare With Me Concealer Serum. I saw this on the display with the foundation, so I was like, all right, let me go ahead and grab this concealer and try it out as well. So it says here, this is a skintervention. Say goodbye to skin stress with our newest addition to the Bare With Me family. At NYX Professional Makeup, we love an overachiever, and Bare With Me Concealer Serum is exactly that. Our Genta Serum Concealer Hybrid helps camouflage dark under eye circles, blemishes, and dry skin patches, all while helping to hydrate the skin for up to 24 hours. This lightweight blendable formula smooths on easily and provides medium coverage with a natural finish for a healthy looking glow. It's no makeup done right. Bonus, you can even use it on your body. It says that it is a water-based liquid concealer that is packed with skin-loving ingredients like tremella mushroom, cica, also known as Centella asiatica extract, and green tea. It's hydrating and suitable for all skin types, especially those with dry, sensitive skin. So it has 24 hours of hydration, a lightweight formula. It is a medium coverage formula with a natural finish. So I picked up the shade number 8 in this one, which is Sand. I wasn't able to find a shade that was really suitable since this is only available in 13 shades. It is $11, and this contains 0.32 fluid ounce or 9.6 milliliters. So we're gonna test this out. Here is the shade, which you can see is lighter than the foundation, but we're gonna see if we can make it work for sure. I'm going to grab a concealer brush and apply this under the eyes. Even though it says it's a serum foundation, it does not feel very thin. The formulation is on the thicker side. You see it's not runny at all. And the coverage, ooh, that is definitely a medium coverage. Let's zoom in again so you can see a little better what I'm doing. Now, since this is a lighter concealer, I am not going to apply this in the areas where I need a little bit more coverage. I am just using this under the eyes to test out the coverage and the wear and how it feels. This is not the main focus of this video, but why not go ahead and test it out as well? That actually looks pretty good. That is pretty nice coverage, and it's making my under eyes look really hydrated and beautiful. I actually really like that. Maybe I need to try out another shade. Oh my god. Now let me grab the foundation on a sponge. I'm grabbing a little bit to try to build up coverage around my mouth. You see how initially it looks peachy? I don't know if you can tell. Initially, it looks like it may have a different undertone, but once I blend it out, it matches my skin pretty well. I was able to build up coverage. It's not full coverage, but I do like the coverage that I'm able to achieve by building it up. Okay, that looks great. Take a look under the eyes. Don't I look hydrated and healthy? I really like that concealer. Let me see if I apply a little bit around my mouth, even though it's a lighter color than I would typically go for. Let's see if it can still work a bit. Yeah, it blends in. It blends in with my skin, so all right, maybe I don't need a different shade, but I'm going to set the under eye with some powder. I'm using my La Prairie powder, just setting the under eyes, and I'm also going to lightly set right between my brows, just a little bit, because I want to test the wear of this foundation, and I'll set around my nose as well. I'm not gonna set anywhere else. I'm gonna let the foundation do its thing because it's supposed to be transfer proof and fade proof and all that. So we're gonna test that out. I'm barely setting the areas that I know, but sure, I need some added help. All right. I think this looks pretty good. So far, I'm really enjoying the finish. I'm really enjoying how it feels. I'm enjoying the coverage. I think the shade match is really great as well. I am liking this. Let's feel if it has set. No, I need to give it a couple more minutes to set down because I did apply some more and I did apply that concealer as well. So I'm going to let it set on its own and then see how that transfer proof thing really holds up. And then I'll show you what it looks like in natural daylight. And we're going to do a wear test. So right now it is 3:48 and I have been wearing this foundation since about, let's say 3:45. I've actually had it on for a few more minutes because I had to run to the kitchen. I'm cooking. So it's had some time to kind of sit, but we're going to check back in at 4 o'clock, right? So that it's had enough time to really set into my skin, and we'll see how it feels after that, and then we'll go outside. All right, I'll see you guys in a few. All right, so I am back and it is now 4:05. So this foundation and concealer has had over 15 minutes to sit and settle in on my skin, and the finish is beautiful. Oh my God, let me show you what this looks like, all right? Because I don't think you understand. It is a beautiful natural matte. It doesn't look oily or greasy at all. And my skin does look blurred, but it doesn't look overly blurred, like it doesn't look fake or anything. This is such a beautiful finish. And remember, I only powdered under my eyes and around my nose and right here at the center of my eyebrows. So everything else is all foundation. And it looks really nice. I didn't even need to powder to get this finish and I love it. Now, in really bad lighting, like in my bathroom, I can see my pores accentuated, so I have no doubt that I'm gonna see pores in natural daylight, but that doesn't bother me as long as my skin looks like skin, and this looks really nice. Nothing heavy or cakey. I think this looks fantastic. Now for the true test, which is that transfer proof finish. Let's see if it really is transfer proof. So I have my piece of paper towel, completely new, nothing on it, and we're gonna see if it is truly transfer proof. Now I'm gonna test on my cheek and jawline area where I don't have any powder, so I can't blame it on the powder. So let's see if it is indeed transfer proof. Oh, look at that. Well, you can't see anything because there's nothing there. Let's try on this side. Okay, if I press really, really hard, some of it does pick up. I said it was transfer proof. No, the claim is transfer resistant, which means it's going to resist transfer. It's not going to be completely budge proof, smudge proof. If you rub at it, it will come off, but it will resist like incidental transfer. And I think that is indeed true. it is transferring just a bit as I'm pressing the napkin all over my skin. But if I do just like a quick dab, nothing comes off. Let me try my forehead. Nothing is coming off. So I think that claim so far of it being transfer resistant is pretty good. So if you hug someone or you blot throughout the day, the foundation isn't just going to slide off your face. So far, so good. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like in natural daylight, shall we? All right, so I am outside in natural daylight and this is my iPhone camera and I think this looks amazing. Am I wrong? Like, look at my skin. This looks so pretty. It doesn't look heavy or cakey. It doesn't even look like I'm wearing foundation. Well, I mean, yeah, it looks like I'm wearing makeup, but this is so pretty. All right, let's check in another camera. Sun is back out in full force, but here's what my skin looks like. I am wondering if the sun is making my skin look even better. You know, that natural filtered effect. Let's go in the shade and see if it still looks the same way. Still natural daylight, but a little bit shaded. All right, now I'm out of direct sunlight. So what do you guys think? I think this looks so pretty. My skin looks blurred and beautiful. It actually looks amazing. So far, so good. Let's see if it's the same result with the iPhone camera though. But so far, yeah, I'm liking this foundation a lot. Is my iPhone going to give me a reality check? Let's see. You can see my pores. This is the front facing camera, so of course it just betrays you, but I think it looks pretty good. Let the car pass. Okay, so I think it still looks good even though you can see my pores, which is what I was telling you. You can still see my pores in bad lighting, and I think that's just skin, okay? That's what it naturally looks like. But so far, I'm telling you, I really like this foundation. And even though I didn't powder, I still look pretty matte. So I'm loving that for my oily skin. So we're gonna check in later to see how this wears. Again, our first check-in was 4 o'clock. Look at this sun. What? Okay. Give me glow. But yeah, we're gonna check in a couple of hours to see how the wear is going. Hey guys, it's time for a check-in. So it is 8:14. So it has officially been, 4.5 hours. Yes, because we started out at 3:45. I was outside at 4. So yeah, we're a good 4.5 hours in and things are wearing pretty well, I will say. And I went over to my mom's house and I was complimented on how pretty I looked. And I was like, oh my God. Like 2 of my family members were like on separate occasions too. It's not like they were in a group telling me this. Like separately they told me, wow, you look really pretty today. What did you do different? And I'm like, am I not pretty all the time? How dare you? But my skin looks great. Right now I'm a little shiny in the nether regions, not the nether region. I'm a little shiny around my nose area. Let's see if I can get the, yeah, let me move the light a little bit. So right around my nose, I am shiny, but after 4 hours, this is acceptable. Like this is actually quite incredible. Usually I'm very shiny in my T-zone. Like my forehead is just normal looking. My cheek, normal looking. And remember, I didn't set this foundation at all with powder. There's no primer. It's strictly the foundation. The setting happened around my nose and that's where I'm getting oily. So, should I try it without the powder? Maybe that would help. Or is it that I'm just always oily there? But even right here between my brows usually gets very oily. And right now it's looking normal. And if I just go ahead and blot, I think I can keep wearing this foundation for a couple more hours without issue. Like, come on, this is wearing so well. Let me do a little check-in up close. No, there's no settling in lines. Nothing. This is doing so well, guys. And it happens to be NYX. This is wearing really well, but at this point, I would blot. So here you have it again. Let's do an up close check-in. Looking really well, no settling, no separating of the foundation. I'm just getting a little shinier. So I'm going to just blot and we'll see what the transfer is like now that my oils have broken through. So with any makeup, and especially with foundation, once your oils start breaking through, that means it's breaking up the foundation, because you use an oil to remove the makeup, right? So obviously it's going to also break the makeup down. So once I start getting oily, it's going to, yeah, just like I expected, it's going to take that whole transfer resistant bit out the door, because my oils already broke down some of that foundation. So here it looks blotted. I'm not going to powder, but here it looks blotted with just a paper towel, and it looks just like new. The foundation, again, hasn't lifted or separated. I think this looks really good. And for my family to compliment me, like, I've gotten compliments from them before, but today was just extra, and they were asking me what I did different. So there's something there's something to be said about this foundation. 4.5 hours in, I think it's wearing pretty well. So we're gonna give it, I'm gonna give it up to 6 hours. I'm not gonna do longer than that because I need to go to bed, child. But I think this is wearing pretty well, and we will wrap up the review on another day. So I will be able to give you like a full, complete review at the end. But for right now, for this wear test, we're doing fantastic. So I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, you guys, it is time for our final check-in. It is 10 p.m. I am not going to wear this makeup any longer because it is close to my bedtime and I need to wash this off. But this foundation, let me tell you right now, it has worn so well. I mean, look at me. Look at me. Do I look shiny? No, I do not. And I blotted 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago. So we are now on our 6th hour of wear. It's almost 6.5 hours, but we'll just go with 6 hours. And this looks amazing. Again, I have no settling into lines. No separation of the foundation. It is really holding my oils at bay. I did help it out a bit by blotting at the 4-hour mark, but that is something that I am very used to when it comes to foundations because I have oily skin, and usually around the 4-hour mark I will start getting shiny, but this foundation really held up to my oils. It didn't break down or anything. Like, it looks so good, and I would simply need to blot and powder to refresh it to make it look like new. And again, because it isn't wearing down, it is definitely, I would say it is fade resistant. It isn't wearing down. It isn't showing any signs of wear apart from me getting a little bit shinier. So I think this is a very successful wear test, and I will continue to test it out throughout the day with primers and powders and all that jazz to give you a full review at the end. But this is going to be the finale of our wear test. 6 hours in, I think we're in pretty good shape. It's almost 6.5 hours, so it's over 6 hours, and it is still looking pretty fantastic. Let me do a before and after so you can take it in and see it up close and personal. So far, I am impressed. It is doing really well. It is doing a lot better than I expected, especially being a drugstore foundation that is priced at $14 compared to other foundations on the market that are priced at $40+. Sometimes they're at $50, $60, and this little foundation is giving them a run for their money. So let me go ahead, wash my face, and I will wrap up with my final thoughts. Alright guys, so it has officially been a couple of weeks since I did that demo and wear test for you guys, and you already heard all the details and claims for this foundation. So I am ready to give you my final thoughts after having tested it out now for a few weeks, and I've gotten a chance to try it out with different primers, with powder, and just how I would normally wear my foundation and my makeup in a full day wear test. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's start off with the price point. This foundation balm retails for $14. $14. Are you serious? And let me tell you right now, spoiler alert, it is rivaling mid-range and high-end brands when it comes to the formulation and the performance. So the price point I think is stellar, and it's also available at Ulta and other drugstores where you can use a coupon. So you can get it at an even better discounted price, or you can catch it on sale. So I think price-wise, it is superb. The concealer, even though this is not the focus of the review, retails for $11, and I do think that is still a great price point as well. So if you wanted to go ahead and pick up the concealer along with the foundation, I think this is a good duo to have, and it's gonna cost you $25, which is still cheaper than a single foundation from a mid-range brand on the market. So I don't think you can go wrong price point wise. As far as the packaging goes, I actually love this simplistic squeeze tube packaging. It's functional, it's easy to travel with, it's nice and sleek. It doesn't feel cheap, but it doesn't feel luxurious at all, okay? At the end of the day, it's squeeze tube plastic, but it's cute and it's functional. At this point, at $14, I'm not expecting an experience when it comes to applying this foundation, but I do think the packaging is functional and cute. As for the concealer, I have slightly different thoughts. So again, it's a very basic type of packaging. However, instead of your typical doe foot applicator tube, this is a pump packaging, and I don't like that for a concealer. For a foundation, absolutely, I'm gonna pump it on a palette and apply it to my skin. But for my concealer, I prefer it to have a doe foot applicator. I don't know that everybody has that preference, but I like to apply concealer directly under my eyes or on my hyperpigmentation around my mouth, or if I have acne spots. But with this packaging, I kind of have to dispense it on a palette or the back of my hand and then pick it up with a brush, which is not my preferred application. And I know a lot of people tend to blend their concealer out with their fingers. So having it in a pump type packaging is not the most, let's see, efficient, you know? It still accomplishes the job, like you dispense the product, you apply it to your skin, blah, blah, blah. But they're just more steps, you know? It's not as convenient, which is the only drawback for this packaging. But again, it's drugstore, it's $11. What do I expect? So I can take it or leave it with the concealer packaging. As far as purchasing this product, it is currently available at Ulta in-store and online. It's also available on the NYX Cosmetics website, as well as other NYX Cosmetics retailers. And they have a pretty decent shade range at 24 shades with a pretty decent gradient. Again, I am shade 16 and they're 24 shades. So there are 8 other shades after me and they have varying undertones. I think you'll be able to find a good match from this foundation range. And I was able to find a spot on almost perfect match. And it even works now that I have a richer, deeper tan. So I don't think you can go wrong with NYX, especially when it comes to finding a more cost-effective or a more affordable line in the drugstore. But you really want to hear about the product and the performance. And I don't know if you could gather from the demonstration and the wear test, but I'm in love with this. I am so in love with this foundation. It is fantastic for oily skin. If you have oily combination skin, I think this is going to be a great foundation for you. I did have to blot and touch up throughout the day with my oily skin, but this foundation really held its own against my oils. And for the wear test, I wasn't wearing a primer and I didn't really powder down. With powder and primer, this lasts even longer and it looks beautiful on the skin. So much so that I was getting compliments left and right from my family, and it's just like, oh, okay, I see you, thank you so much. I mean, it looks so good on the skin. It does blur the skin just a bit, not to the point where you look porcelain and you look artificial or, you know, too blurred. It just looks like naturally perfected skin, right? Not like you tried too hard. And it's so lightweight and it feels so comfortable that you can wear this for every day. So it's like a perfect medium coverage foundation that feels lightweight, almost airbrushes the skin to the point where you look blurred, but it doesn't feel heavy and it doesn't get cakey at all. It's just so comfortable. The formulation, even though it's a liquid, it feels a little bit more whipped, like it's a little bit more airy. It doesn't feel greasy at all. It feels really lightweight. And I am so happy with it. And also with it being kind of transfer resistant helps in the longevity, because even when you blot, it's still staying on your face. It doesn't just break down with the oils in your skin. As your skin warms up and your oils start breaking through, it's not just separating and splitting and settling into lines. No, it stays in place and you just blot away the oils and your makeup is easily refreshed. And after blotting, it still lasts like hours later. I still look good. So I think this foundation is fantastic. If you have normal oily combination skin and you are looking for a foundation that blurs your skin without making you look too matte, too dry, you know, this is it. And it's $14. Like, stop the presses. If you are on the market for a new foundation that you can wear for every day, this is it. If you can find your shade, okay, get it. Get it, okay? If you use me as a shade reference, again, my shade is number 16, Warm Caramel. Oh, it's fantastic. I love it so much. It's easy to pop on and it wears really well. And like I said, it rivals mid-range to high-end brands. Like, what? I don't consider myself to be like a makeup snob in the slightest, but I look in my collection and I don't use a lot of drugstore makeup. I'm just gonna be straight up with you. I prefer the feel and the luxury behind a mid-range to high-end brand. It's just what it is. And for me, foundations is just one of those products that I tend to stick to higher end brands just because of the shade range and the formulation. I just feel like mid-range brands do it better. But here comes NYX changing my mind, because this foundation is fantastic. And I'm kind of low-key surprised because NYX has not always blown me away with their complexion products. But this time around, they definitely hit the nail on the head, because this foundation is fantastic. You hear me? It is great. So if you're looking for a more affordable foundation at the drugstore that wears really well on oily skin, has a decent shade range, and has a great formulation, bam, here you have it. So hopefully this review and demonstration was helpful for you guys if you were on the market for a new foundation or you wanted to hear my thoughts about this specific one. The concealer is also a nice little touch. It wouldn't be a go-to concealer for me if I'm being honest. Just with the packaging and the shade range, I don't think I have a great shade match in this. I will use it up, but it wouldn't be something that I would run out and get. There are other concealers in my collection that I prefer over that one, but the foundation, I'm definitely going to be using that a lot more. So again, hopefully this video was helpful. I will go ahead and leave links below on where you can pick this up on the Ulta website as well as the NYX Cosmetics website. I will also leave links to my Instagram and Twitter where you can follow me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye guys.